look at roster needs, what do you feel like are those top priorities that you look at going into both free agency and the draft?
Yeah, we're going to get together as a staff soon. I'll give them a couple days to breathe, but in all reality, you can always get more skilled, more athletic. Obviously, we know shooting needs to continue to be improved, so we'll keep an eye on those positions. But we're looking forward to improving everywhere in the off season.
And then we spoke with Kennedy obviously earlier, and she talked about heading into her free agency that if Chicago wanted her back, she would be happy to come back. Just kind of where is your head at in terms of her priority in this team and in this roster's construction?
Yeah, she had an incredible season for us. I mean, she was very valuable. She came in, earned a spot in the starting lineup, went to work, did a lot of damage. And obviously, she's a player that can impact the game at the highest level in this league. So, it's a player we're going to make sure we keep an eye on and engage, when it's time.
We'll go to Mike.
Jeff, appreciate the time. I was wondering for you, obviously, you found your way into getting 2 top 10 picks again, back-to-back seasons. One is in the lottery, but obviously it's very different financially. It's not as financially constricting as it was towards the end of last season, obviously, giving Kyle the max. This season, obviously, we don't know what it's going to look like with the lottery, but how is free agency going to dictate potentially the needs or the positions that you're going to look at during the draft?
Yeah, we're obviously in the position we're in now, which is a good one as far as, where that pick will be, early in the lottery, and then we have another one later in the first round. So having 2 first-round picks again is going to be really exciting when we're looking at the college landscape. And then, we've got, some roster space and some good cap space. So, we're going to be able to make some moves in free agency as well. So I think we're in a pretty good place as far as building, amongst the core that we have here right now.
Thanks, Jeff.
Go, Alyssa.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Alyssa.
I was wondering, looking back to the start of the season, how you defined success in the first year?
Well, we made a handful of transactions, and we were able to rebuild quite a bit of draft capital, which you have to have in this league. And I know that we put a team on the floor every night, along with that competed. And, we're proud of the players. We, like any other team, faced some sickness, some injuries, never an excuse. I know we never treated it as one, but when you have players that show up and don't give up and show fight, every night, regardless of who's stepping into that lineup or who's coming off the bench. To me, you always have to gauge success that way if the record isn't where you want it to be. So
do you think the team was successful this year?
I think that we fought the whole entire season. We were coachable the whole entire season. So yes, I'm going to go with I believe we were successful. Obviously, we would like to have finished very differently. We would like to have won close games. We've got some young players, and we've got a core that we trust, and I'd like to think this is a huge part in their growth.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Carly.
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Good, Carly.
Great. Kind of looking at both Angel and Camilla this season with both yours and Spoon's background in player development. How would you assess their development from day one of training camp to the end of the season or their last game that they were able to play?
I think we saw pretty broad jumps, especially if you take a look at their college film, till, the start of our WNBA season till, a couple days ago where, they weren't able to play. But, they made strides as far as their skill sets were concerned. We saw Camila shooting jump shots when she was open. We saw Angel always facing up and shooting the ball. She understands the importance of, showing that she'll shoot a jump shot, so people have to, change the way they're guarding her. And in all reality, we want them to continue to evolve. We want positionless players when we can find them, and we know, with their toughness, their size, their athleticism, that the more skilled we make them, the better our team is going to be.
What's up, Jeff?
Hello, Annie.
When you think about this 2025 season that's coming up, how do you think the CBA, the fact that players are likely going to opt out, is going to impact the timeline you all have for returning to title contention? It's almost as if like 2025 is kind of another big question mark, given that most players are going to be signing, or what we could assume, be signing these 1-year contracts.
Yeah, I agree. I think that everybody, or just about everybody will be signing 1-year deals. I think that we're still going to go after the players that we see that would be the best fit for us long term. Obviously, the CBA and the renegotiation of it is going to change things in a lot of people's eyes, and it should. But we're still going to go after players that can be here long term.
So when you think about where the franchise is going to be in terms of like the practice facility being available in 2026, is it realistic to assume that 2026 is going to be is a target for you guys to try and return to the top of league standings, or among the top of league standings?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna make the strongest moves and aggressive moves that we can in this free agency, this offseason. We want to get there sooner rather than later. But, like anyone would say, we want it to be sustainable. So, we know the practice facility is coming. We couldn't be more excited about that. And we're going to use it, to obviously, bring more attention to the organization. But in all reality, we're going to go after, the players that fit the Chicago Sky this year. And then next year, that 2026 draft is going to be great. We'll have some picks there, and having that practice facility is just something that the players here deserve, and we're excited to be able to show people.
So then how confident are you that you can turn this around by next year?
I am confident that we will continue to make strong, aggressive moves to put the best product on the floor.
Okay, thanks.
We'll go quick follow-ups. Julia, we'll end with Alyssa.
Jeff, just looking at where the season kind of went after the Olympic break, when you look back on that trade to send Marina to Connecticut, how do you kind of grade that trade for yourself, and just kind of, as you look at it in the context of where this team is moving, how do you feel like that impacted not just this season, but kind of where this team is going in the future?
Yeah, Marina Mabrey is a great player. I've told everybody we think the world of her, still do. Super talented. It was a move that made a lot of sense for us. They had pieces that we were really looking at. We were able to get another first-round pick and get a swap with the one a year later, which is very important. And when we're trying to continue to add assets and players, like the trade made a lot of sense. I would do it again. I love Marina. We do it again. We feel very confident in the decision to make the move.
Definitely. And then just working with Spoon, as her being a first-year coach, you being a first-year general manager, what do you feel like both of you kind of learned from this experience, and how do you kind of grade her performance as a first-year coach?
Yeah, look, I know that I learned that this league is extremely competitive, and it's a privilege to play in it. It's a privilege to be an executive in it. I know it's very difficult to stay healthy, and everyone faces it. But it's been a very good learning experience. I think Spoon faced a ton of adversity the whole season. We made a lot of moves. The roster is much different now than where we started, and she still kept a team on the floor that was fighting every single night. So as far as how I feel about that evaluation, it's an awfully competitive league, and we were in almost every single game, win or lose. So to me, first year, I know we gave it all we got, and we're excited to come back.
Thank you, Jeff.
Alyssa?
Thanks.
Hey, Jeff, what went into the decision to re-sign E-Will, and why is depth in the front court so important to you guys?
Well, she was a priority because first from the player she was last year, how she grew that second half of the season, she kind of came out of nowhere and basically returned to almost an all-star caliber player with those numbers. She started the season out very strong for us. And as a shot blocker, I put her up against anybody in the world, literally. I mean, she's got a knack with her timing, and she cares about protecting the rim. And this from a basketball perspective and from a leadership perspective, she's second to none. She's been an incredible voice for us, even through an injury. It was a priority for her to care about her teammates and have a voice every single day in the locker room and at practice. And that stuff is invaluable. And what we're trying to do here and what we're trying to build, people like that are critical.
Thanks, Alyssa. We'll end with Carly.
Jeff, yeah, I just got one more. I'm assuming, I feel like we're all in the dark here about what the expansion draft is going to look like with the addition of Golden State. How does not knowing that, I know the season just ended, but how does not knowing that information now, how does that kind of affect how you recruit and how you look at who you could potentially draft out of this upcoming draft in 2025?
Yeah, there's a lot unknown for every single team. I talk about this with my peers all the time. It will affect everything until it does or it doesn't. So we have to keep all options open. It's a great question, but until we know more, it's going to be tricky to speculate too much.
Gotcha. Thank you so much, and thank you for your time all season.
You got it, Carly.
Thank you.
Bye, Julia.
Recording